Big Mike's Coffee Shop presents the Avery Journal-Times Coaches Corner broadcast. Here is our host, Jamie Shell.
And once again, good day. Welcome. Appreciate you joining us today for the Viking Coaches Show with Coach Ethan Farmer. I'm Jamie Shell with the Avery Journal-Times. Coach, again, last week, able to come up with the home opener, I guess, with West Caldwell.
Yep.
And was a pretty close game throughout.
Yep.
But it was one of those games where both teams had some trouble holding on to the ball.
Yep.
I don't know exactly if it was wasn't necessarily raining or, you usually see that with wet weather, but not so much last week. But other than that, I know it was a close game to the end, just a 6-point defeat at 26-20. Could you just maybe assess just your thoughts about last week's game and just how you felt the guys bounced back from that first game against Hampton?
I mean, we bounced back pretty good, defensively too. I'd say offensively, I mean, had 254 yards with the rushing. And then, obviously we finished the game, I think it was 457 yards total offense. But, when you have that great stats and like that as a team, you still come up short. We had, we counted on film. We kind of talked about our kids about holding on to the football. And it's just, little mental errors, but we still had an opportunity to win the ball game. And two, our kids didn't give up. And that's one of the things I'm definitely proud about. I mean, obviously, we didn't get the win like we wanted to. But, having a group like this to be able to turn it back around, getting into this week here. We had a great practice Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday as well. And then obviously this morning. So we kind of turn the page on it, but that was one of our biggest things, just making sure that we still pay attention to detail and make sure we finish out pretty good.
A lot of things go into a game, of course. You mentioned running the football. You gained over 400 yards in offense, but you ran the ball extremely well. And I would say it's one of the better games that you all have had running the football in some time, even leading back into last season. Can you just speak about those guys? I know between Zane and Jackson and your quarterbacks and Tannen running the ball, kind of what maybe they saw a little differently this past week that really brought you success?
Yeah, I mean, day in and day out, we've been preaching on, one run game to be effective. And, having those backs in the backfield like that, Tannen Webb is obviously a sophomore, obviously I knew it was going to happen at some point in time. Kid had a heck of a game along with Jackson Boone and Zayden Chevron. And you put that, you kind of seen that early in the year before the season start. We kind of knew what we were going to see there. Now that backfield is actually we're clicking pretty good right now. That's one of the biggest things that they talked about too. Playing for one another, running it hard. Now just got to just make sure we carry on with it. Too, that group is very special, especially with the quarterbacks as well. That's we had a lot of time this week here focusing on that and work on our handoffs very well too. So, I can't speak a lot about them, but besides, I'm very proud of them, and they're continuously getting better and better each and every week. They're great kids. We're just continuously looking forward to it. So.
Again, we appreciate being here at Big Mike's Coffee Shop this morning, having our drinks of choice here, and just do want to remind everyone that it is that time, fall. I know several people. I know a good friend of mine down in the Rome Mountain area loves the pumpkin spice flavorings, so I know he's excited. So the caramel or the flannel macchiato is back. Some of the pumpkin spice flavored drinks are back. As I like to say, lots of hot eats and cool treats. You can get cool eats and hot treats here. We want to encourage you to come out to patronize the good folks here at Big Mike's, Mike and Jackie Nelson, who help sponsor our coaches shows, as well as the halftime reports and the post-game reports from the stadiums on Friday nights. We just want to make sure to thank them as well.
Absolutely.
As we look ahead and we do turn the page, as you mentioned, Coach, we have Asheville Christian Academy, a road game coming up on Friday night. Asheville Christian's had their share of struggles so far this season. I think they're still looking for their first points of the season. They were beaten. They've played Providence Academy out of Johnson City and played another academy last week. Can you just speak a little bit about their team and kind of what you see on film when your coaches kind of break it down, and kind of what fans might expect to see from that opponent this week?
Excuse me. I think just overall, we've got some athletes. We got some guys as well. Number 5, the receiver, quarterback's pretty good too. The line plays pretty decent as well. So Our biggest thing is, we get ready to face another spread offense. We just got to be able to key in on that as well, defensively. For them, we're seeing some different fronts that we've seen before, and two special teams. When we look at this team, they're really good. Their record does just speak for who they are, and neither does ours. So our thing is right now, it's like we told our kids already, hey, we got to win on the road. Obviously we're going to their place, so this is going to be a nice little battle for sure.
And we'll let folks know that game is taking place Friday night over at Memorial Stadium in Asheville. It's kind of more downtown, if I remember right, pretty close to the downtown area there. So I don't think Asheville Christian Academy, I don't know if they have a field or theirs is probably damaged because of what happened in Swannanoa where the school's located. Of course, we know a little bit about that from the hurricane here. They felt it pretty severely down in that area as well. So they're playing over in Asheville, and that's where we'll be meeting up with them. Defensively, coach team had given up 60 in the first game with Hampton, had given up just 26 last week. And, of course, you see improvement between week 1 and week 2, as we'd said previously. This week defensively, what are some things you're expecting to see from your guys?
Just swarming the football. We've kind of been flying around at practice this week. Just attention to detail, making sure our guys are knowing their responsibility, doing their job. We preach on that in all 3 phases of the ball game. Do your job. So, that's one of our biggest things we emphasize on. Too, with our up front, front 7. Looking forward for them to step up this week for sure. And then obviously in the back end, guys, a lot of skill guys back there. Oak, Chevy. You got Jackson Boone, and you got Luke Wallace back there as well. So actually looking forward to those guys being able to continuously just swarm the football, cause some turnovers, and have fun. That's the biggest thing now, man. It's week 3. It's still non-conference. And, it's like I told them this morning, we haven't won on the road since 2023, and it's just time for a change. So we just got to play our style of football and get back to having fun for sure.
Looking at the rest of the non-conference schedule, of course, you come back home to play McDowell next Friday night before conference season starts. And, of course, from what we're seeing already in the early results of the conference, we see teams like Mountain Heritage that continue to look good. It seems like they reload instead of rebuild, it seems like, from year to year. And Hendersonville has looked pretty strong so far in the early going, too. Madison has been solid. I know we have them coming up in a couple of weeks right after the McDowell game. That to open our conference season down another, again, road game down there at Madison. Owen improved. This conference is not easy to go through.
No.
It's one of the tougher conferences, I feel like, in the entire state, regardless of level. And how do these non-conference games get you guys set up to face those rigors of that conference?
It's set up perfect. It's just one of those things where you don't know what you're going to get week in and out of weeks. And I think right now we're telling our guys you can't worry about last 2 weeks. You got to focus on this week here, and then but I think overall it sets us up because there's a lot of different things schemes that you'll see. You kind of try to play that to your advantage a little bit as well. And on top of that too, playing tough competition. And a lot of people don't realize it, but last week, that was a 4-quarter game. And you look at Hampton too. Everybody says, hey, Tennessee, North Carolina, but the bottom line is you want tough games. So obviously it continues to get better on that. And that's what it boils down to, because you don't know what you're going to face down the road, especially in conference play. Anything can happen. It's a new year for everybody, so upsets can happen. You can have teams to be able to go out, and the next thing you know, you go on in 4 overtimes. So you never know. So, but for us, I think it's something that we need, and I think it's a lesson that's obviously learned, and that's obviously to be able to help us prepare for conference play. So, there's a lot of different things and a lot more ball left to play. So, and again, I'm excited about this group. They've the things that we've talked about, they already popped up on it. So, and that's where it's time, and that's what I kind of emphasize on this week much as I could. You know, like guys, it's time. So I'm looking forward to it, man.
Sounds you're getting them prepared.
Yes.
Certainly sounds like
Yeah.
they're prepared to go.
Yeah.
Speaking of last week, I want to jump back there just for a second. Something I wanted to note was I know it was Viking night for our home opener, and looked like there's a pretty good turnout showed up on Friday night.
Man,
How important was having those fans there Friday?
I'll tell everybody, man, thank y'all. You know, and the kids fed off that energy too. And you know, too, and I didn't forget our student section. You know, man, the student section was loud for 4 quarters. You can hear it. Everybody was into the game, and that's what you like to see.
Right.
And you know, obviously, we get the result we wanted, but for us, you know, that was a win in our book because you know a lot of people came out, and you know, too, don't judge it. You know, just because we didn't come away with a win, but definitely keep coming out and supporting. I mean, that's great, and it's great for our student athletes across the board. Doesn't matter if it's football, volleyball, you know, tennis, you know, you name it. Just come out and support as much as you can because our kids, our student athletes at the high school, they feed off that.
Yep. And that's going to be important. Another reason to mention that is after we come back from Madison, you have a string of 3 straight home games with a bye week in between. So there's going to be about a month worth of time that we're going to be just having some home cooking at the McDonald Stadium. And it's going to be so important just to have that kind of energy to be able to feed off of, I'm sure, for you guys. And I know that's kind of rare. I don't recall many times where you had that long of a homestand. You know, in baseball, sure, basketball sometimes, but football usually not so much.
You don't see that much
because you usually have the home away type of schedule. So I know that's an interesting setup, and we really want to see fans come out and be part of the action, of course. It was a great turnout. Of course, homecoming will be in part of that as well, and those festivities coming up later on in the month as we're already in September. Hard to believe.
Yeah, I know, right? It's Earth, Wind, and Fire for sure. September, so.
Yeah, it definitely is. Last thing I'll ask you, Coach, is as far as if there's one thing you needed to pin down for this week that you feel like will be the difference for a victory on Friday night when you face the Lions, what do you feel like that one thing might be?
Just doing our job. Okay. Doing our job. You know, it doesn't matter what position it is on the field. You know, just doing your job. And you know, that's what as coaches, we've hit on that this week. We preached on that this week, and now we're starting to get the players to understand that as well. You know, just do your job, and you know, stay positive. I mean, that's our biggest thing too. And you know, football teaches you more, you know, life lessons more than anything. And you know, that's what we're working with our kids on right now. And you know, right now, adversity. We fought a lot of adversity, and you know, I think we're due. And I think our kids are ready to rock and roll. And I'm excited for them.
I'd be remiss if I didn't mention the undefeated JV team. I'm sorry I hadn't brought them up. Just realized I need to mention something about those guys. They're back in action this week. Of course, we're filming on a Thursday morning, and they play later today. They've got a road matchup coming up. Can you just speak about the work they've been doing since the bye week and getting ready for this week?
Man, JV's has been working extremely hard. You know, during practice times, you know, we're setting the schedule, but Coach Coggins is down there doing a heck of a job, and all of our coaches are. So, you know, the boys have been working hard for the last 2 weeks, and you know, obviously they're getting ready for Mountain Heritage to start conference play tonight with them. So, you know, I'm actually excited about them. They all seem motivated. You know, it doesn't matter, you know, anything like that. They definitely know, and they want to have fun. Last week, you know, being able to see them, be able to get some of them back. You know, Joe, obviously, thank Joe for everything. But you know, just seeing them prepare is the key thing. And two, you know, you seen their faces yesterday. Kind of went by in between our practices and just, you know, gave them high fives. And everybody was like, you know, just, hey, beat Heritage. So I think the boys are ready. I'm excited to see them play tonight. Excited to be on the sideline with them and watch them have fun. I mean, that's the biggest thing. And you know, you can't talk enough about them, man, because that is a hard-working group. Seriously. You know, we didn't think we were going to have a JV team, but it got everybody in, and you know, that's a blessing. And all of them are excited, and I'm excited for them to watch them.
Yeah, and it's a shot in the arm to the varsity program too. Not just not just seeing that level succeed, but also you being able to work on that preparation process.
Yes.
Having those guys, especially,
Yes.
If you have injuries, you never know if they have to come in and be called to action quickly.
Yep.
Hopefully that doesn't have to be the case, but it allows them to develop.
Yes.
In a way they wouldn't develop as a varsity player necessarily.
But, and so, just being able to work with them, over the summer, in the weight room, and then, obviously, being able to see them throughout the summer grind and then watch them, as like I said before, I think I said last week, watching them how they fought at varsity themselves, and just kept going through and then finally, boom, there it was. So I'm excited for these kids, man. I mean, I'm excited for both programs, but I know the varsity guys, they're going over there tonight as well. That's one of the biggest things we talk about is family, being a family. So they're going to be over there. That'll be excitement on the sideline to be able to high five and be able to see them. So, yeah, man, I'm excited about it.
It's a student section you get to have on the sideline,
absolutely.
right? Is that how that works? Yeah. Well, that's all right.
Yep.
Coach, how are you guys health-wise? I meant to ask that too. How are things with you guys health-wise at this point?
I mean, we'll be down. We'll be down 4 this week.
Okay.
Got one due to a shoulder injury. The other one, sickness, and the other 2 with Gerke, obviously.
Right, still doing recovery there, right?
Glad to see him back, man, and trying to do some things. So that's a plus. And then we've got one doubtful for tomorrow night. But health-wise, we're going to be fine. A lot of kids are going to be able to step up.
That's
sure.
good, absolutely. Plus, again, you're still a couple of weeks away.
Yep.
You definitely don't want to necessarily chance, having injured guys out there, hurt guys out if you want to get ready for conference play too.
Yep.
I mean, non-conference matters. I know schedules matter to the state and wins, losses, all those things now, especially with the new classification, how that's going to work. Still a little in the air, I guess.
Absolutely.
They have their guidelines, I guess, but
Absolutely.
we kind of, if we take care of our own business,
Yeah.
win ball games, that's what matters.
Yep.
And it doesn't have to be in the hands of a committee somewhere, I guess.
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely.
But Coach, again, I appreciate the time as always. I know it's to take time out of your schedule to be able to talk
You're
to
good.
us.
You're good.
We do appreciate it. We appreciate, of course, Big Mike's Coffee Shop here in Newland, here at Wyatt Road, getting ready to leave pretty soon here in the next month or so. We're going to be moving into their new spot, which is really coming together.
Yep.
Looking really nice there. It'll be kind of across from Hardee's right off Pinola Street here in Newland. Again, still here at Wyatt Street with the fall menu tracking already. It's September. Here comes the pumpkin spice. You can judge it like clockwork.
Yep.
Like I said, the flannel macchiato. I love some of the names. It's just great. And
Fruity Pebbles.
yeah,
is
the
good,
Fruity
too.
Pebbles shake's fantastic.
Yep.
I like the hot butterscotch delight. I'm a sucker for butterscotch, and as long as my doctor and other folks don't watch this because they know how much I'm not supposed to have a lot of sugar, this is my cheat for today, just so folks know. But yeah, it's just fantastic items here available at Big Mike's, and they do so much in the community, and we're just so thrilled to be able to partner with them. They I know they help with the program, with all of Avery Athletics, big supporters, and we appreciate that from them. Again, Coach, best of luck to you coming up on Friday with Asheville Christian Academy.
Appreciate it.
The Roaring Lions, we'll see if maybe we can tame them this week and get that first win on the scoreboard.
And it's $10. I forgot, Benny told me it'd be $10 to get in.
Wow, inflation hits hard over there. Okay, all right.
And then tonight, it's 7.
7 for the JV game on Thursday. We'll have this out hopefully in time for folks. Should be available when you see this. You'll still be able to get down to do that and to visit. They're at Briggs Stadium in Burnsville. Nice place down there. Great folks there. I know several of the coaches. Just great to visit with those guys and talk with them and always see how things are going in Heritage and they're continuing to do well. Of course, again, during the conference, you want to do best yourself, but once you get into the playoffs, as long as you're not having to play one another, you root for the other teams you have in the conference. I mean, that's just kind of how it is. I mean, some rivalries go deep. I mean, you're not going to catch me rooting for Duke in basketball or NC State. I mean, some things, there's just hypocrisy to do that. But when it comes to the Western Highlands Conference, we do root for one another and help one another. It's a good companionship, I think. Absolutely. It's a good brotherhood between the schools. So, Coach, again, thank you so much for the time. We appreciate it and look forward to seeing you guys on Friday night. Hopefully we'll get to catch up with you maybe after the game with a win.
Absolutely.
We kind of try to do that, but only time will tell. We'll see.
Yes, sir.
But until then, we thank you for watching. We'll see you at halftime of the contest between Avery and Asheville Christian Academy. Until then, thanks for watching. Appreciate you, and go Vikings.
Thank you. Go Vikes.